Hi everyone, it's Lori here from Lori Hooks. If you're new, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. I'm happy to see everyone and thank you for joining me today. So I haven't been on in a couple weeks, probably been about 2.5 weeks. The last video I did, I was getting ready to go visit my mom for the Family Day weekend here in Ontario. So I had the Monday off. The majority of us get the Monday off. My husband does not. So my husband stayed home with our dogs, and my daughter and I went to visit my mom. Unfortunately, we did not see my dad. My dad had gone for a snowmobile trip with my son. So they were up in Timmins. My parents live in cottage country, so they're about 2.5 hours north from where we are. So my daughter and I went up on the Friday and stayed until Monday afternoon, and then we came home. And unfortunately, we missed my mom's birthday. My mom's birthday was on Thursday, but I took Friday off, and the plan was to go Thursday night, but we had some freezing rain and some snow on Thursday night, so I decided to go on Friday night instead. So we had a nice weekend. Spent a fair bit of time relaxing. On the Saturday we went to town, went to Walmart. We went to a department store in there in town. It's like a no-name department store. And they had yarn there, and I was taking a look at the yarn. I was going to take a picture, but I kind of got sidetracked. My mom has a problem with one of her knees, and it causes her some pain. If she needs to walk, because if she doesn't, it gets stiff, but then when she walks too much, it also swells up and it hurts. So she had enough. By the time we got to Walmart, and we had walked around Walmart and got groceries and stuff, and then went to the department store, we walked through the clothing section and part of like the housewares type section, and then we got to where the crafty stuff was. My daughter and I were wandering around in there when my mom said that she'd had enough, so we headed out. So I saw some, I'd never seen it before. It was like a Super Saver sport weight type yarn, and it was heavy, and I was going to take a picture of the label, but I didn't for whatever reason. And then it was a regular Super Saver. It was itchy, scratchy stuff, so it wasn't something I was interested in, so I wouldn't have purchased it anyways. It was just interesting. It was something I'd never seen before. And everything there looked like stuff that was probably older end of line stuff that you probably wouldn't find other places. Like the labels on everything looked older and things that I wasn't very familiar with. And they had a very, very small section with just maybe 6 feet long, and only 2 or 3 shelves. So it was very, very small yarn selection in this store. Anyway, so I did get a little bit of crochet while I was there, not a lot, and I will show you. So I've only had a chance to work on a couple things over the last couple weeks, and that's part of the reason why I haven't been on here to record. I've just been busy with work and, normal life, go to work. Well, in my case, I don't, most of the time I work from home. I do client visits, so the days that I go to work, I find, even though my client visits aren't that physical, just the the protocols to go visit clients now, it's just you have to mask up, it's the hand sanitizing, it's the COVID check when you arrive, it's a lot of hassle to go see clients now. So I do find it exhausting to go visit clients, and then I just find driving in general exhausting. So yeah, anyways, so just haven't had that much time to crochet lately. But I started this blanket cardigan before I went to see my mom, and searching blanket cardigans, I see that there's different types of styles. There's the cocoon ones where you make a rectangle and then you sew the sides together to make it for your sleeves. Or there's the one that's more like what I'm making, which is a large rectangle, and then you make holes for your sleeves in the large rectangle, and then you add your sleeves afterwards, which is what I'm doing. So I'm not using a pattern. I have a very similar store-bought, it's like a jersey knit sweater that that I like, and I'm doing it more based on that. I did some measurements of it and I'm using it for my measurements. So this is my sweater so far. Let's see my sleeve holes. And I'm almost done. I got like a couple more rows, maybe 4 more rows to do on this side, and then I think it's going to be long enough. And I'm going to put buttons in on the shoulders to hold it closed, because I generally, the one that I have, I don't usually wear it open. I usually wear it with the sides buttoned up, and on it, it has a small button on the one side and a big button on the other side. I'm going to do this one the same way. And for this, I'm using Karen Cloud Cakes. And the color that I'm using is Shark Skin. And the name of this kind of really turns me off. It wasn't, when I purchased it, I didn't look at the name at all. I just looked at the colors, and I like grays and blacks, and so that's the reason why I had picked these colors. And I haven't decided what I'm going to do for the arms yet. I'm a little bit OCD when it comes to striping. I don't buy a lot of striping yarn for this reason, because when things don't look symmetrical to me, it bothers me. So I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do for the sleeves. I have some of these solid color, I think it's called graphite or something like that, in the Cloud Cake, and it looks pretty good with this gray. Or I haven't decided if I'm going to do that, or if I'm going to try to color control the sleeves, or if I'm just going to let it go. So far I've been letting it go and just letting it come out as it wishes, and I'm okay with it for the body. But for the sleeves, I think if I have dark at the top and light on the bottom on one sleeve, and then dark on the bottom and light on the top, or halfway in between on the other sleeve, I think that's going to bother me, because that's just the way that I am. So yeah, we'll see what I'm going to do for the sleeves. I have not figured that part out yet, but that's where I'm at so far. And I had to frog out a bunch. I did it with the measurements according to my other sweater, and then of course when I put my second sleeve, because I'm working it across lengthwise. So then when I put my second sleeve hole in and I measured out for it, and then when I tried it on, of course the weight of the material pulls it down in the back. So then I decided, it was after I pretty much finished the whole thing, I was almost done. I was just trying to decide if it was long enough, and then it was then that I realized the back was too big, and I frogged it back to the sleeve hole and took a few rows out, and then put my sleeve hole back in and continued on. So I'm still working my way back out, and I've heard a lot of comments about people having trouble frogging the Cloud Cakes and finding it very delicate. I haven't had any issue frogging it back. This is all half double crochet, and I have not had any issues with frogging back the section that I frogged back. So that is my blanket cardigan. My other thing that I've been working on, because I like something that's my mindless project, and then I like to have something that's a little bit more mindful, that you got to pay more attention to what you're working on, and that's kind of what I work on when I'm I work on my mindless stuff while I watch TV at night, and then my favorite shows, I guess, and then my stuff that I'm not as interested in, I'll work on a project that requires me to be more mindful of paying attention to what I'm doing. So my daughter likes Anne of Green Gables, and so I am making her an Anne of Green Gables doll, and I'm going to insert a picture of what the finished product should look like, and I'm going to tag her YouTube video below. I'm not going to even attempt to pronounce her name, but she has I'm doing this from a YouTube video. It's not a pattern that you can purchase, which I would have preferred to purchase pattern. I don't need the YouTube tutorial for the viewing. I just need, it's one that as you watch it, it shows you the next step for each of the rows in the video. So I've been watching the video and doing it. So yeah, so this is what I have so far. She's about half done, I think, now. So we have her body with her dress, and the dress is attached. So we started with the boots, and we made one leg, and then did the other boot and the other leg, and then after I'd worked all the way up to her neck, then we added the dress on. And so that is it so far. I'm making this from Sheepy's Katona. That's what it looks like. And I had bought 50-gram balls, and the colors are numbers. So this one's a white, and the green is emerald. I remember the color name on that one, and I just dropped her arm. There's one arm. And the skin color I'm using, there's her head, is shell. Shell's in here somewhere. Oh, and my bag that I'm using, my project bag, this is a bag from, sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze. Sneeze has passed. This is a bag from, I purchased it from Ella at No Catchy Name, and I love this drawstring bag. It is, it's about the right size for this type of project to keep all of your yarns in and stuff. And it's a very heavy bag. It's lined. I love this bag. It's very, very, very well made. Ella's Etsy shop is on vacation. She had a baby about a little over a month ago, maybe 6 weeks ago. But if you haven't checked her out, check her out on YouTube and favorite her Etsy shop. She her bags are wonderful, and then when she's making bags again, if you're interested. Anyway, so we've got another arm in here. There's her other arm. And I'm just starting on her hair, which I believe this orange that I'm using was Royal Orange, I think it was called. But I've just done a couple rounds on the hair so far. And for my hook, I'm using my Clover 2.25 millimeter crochet hook. The pattern suggestion, I think, was this size. I think it was 2.25. She's not using this yarn. She's using a different mercerized cotton in a different brand, but I believe the weight's very close to this when I looked it up. And it wasn't something that's easily available here, whereas Sheepy's Katona, I can buy it from a local yarn store that's here in Ontario. So I'm going to do actually a separate video about that, because I did buy a bunch more colors from there and some other things. And yeah, so that's what I've been up to the last few weeks. I'm sorry I don't have more to show you, or I don't have any finished objects. I just haven't had a lot of time. And yeah, so thank you for hanging out with me today, and thanks for visiting, and I will see you next time on Lori Hooks. Thank you. Bye.